As we head into the final part of episode 2, starting with Act 3, it's time we dive deeper into the identities of each agent and rank their ultimates. What is up, ProGuides family? It is your host, Sergeant Frost, and today we have an agent's ultimate tier list for you guys. This list will be from best to worst in the S, A, B, C tier format. Before we hop in, I need to tell you guys about one of the most exciting new pieces of content we have to offer you guys on our website. We have a brand new pro player course written by Sentinels Tens. Tens has been tearing up the competition with Sentinels in the VCT Challengers 2 qualifiers. While Tens is dominating the pro scene, he is also trying to spread his knowledge about how to improve in Valorant as quickly as he did. That is why he recently teamed up with ProGuides Valorant to make an all-encompassing course that will teach you the fundamentals to create a complete player. This course will give you all the gameplay basics and the insights that Tens uses to dominate his competition on a daily basis. Head over to ProGuides.com to take advantage of this one-of-a-kind opportunity to learn from the aim god himself. Now, let's hop right into the video and start it off with the S tier. In order to start this tier list off right, we have to give the top spot in the S tier to the most powerful ultimate in the game, Killjoy's Lockdown. If you have played Valorant long enough, you know exactly how powerful this ult can be when used in the right situation. No ultimate in the game can make an entire enemy team stop what they're doing and flee for safety like Lockdown can. Killjoy's Lockdown is the best ult in the game for taking map control, and there is no other ultimate in the game that comes close to its level of power. Do you need a get on the Cypher free card when attacking? Put down a Killjoy ultimate behind cover and shoot at the defenders as they scurry out of sight and run for cover. If they gamble with fate and choose not to run, don't worry, they will be detained for 10 seconds where they can't use their weapon and they run slow. This ultimate is the easiest way to either collect kills or clear out of sight in seconds when you're attacking. On defense, it's the same concept. Do you need to retake and you want the attackers to get out of their post-plant spots? Drop a Killjoy Lockdown as close to sight as possible and instantly get a bomb site back for free. Killjoy's Lockdown is a game-changing ultimate that can win a round for free if used at the right time and place. That is why it is the uncontested best ultimate in the entire game until a new agent comes along and tries to contest its spot. While I don't like saying that there can be two best ultimates in the entire game, Sage's Resurrection makes a great case for being in the conversation of top 3 ultimates in all of Valorant. There isn't even a need to try to justify the placement of this ultimate. Sage's Resurrection allows you to bring back teammates from the dead with 100 HP. This effectively makes the game a 6v5 when Sage has her ultimate, because you can revive a teammate at will when you need it the most. The best thing about Sage ult is that it acts like an insurance policy for your team. On offense, your entry frags don't have to worry about dying while flying into sight trying to break it open. Even if they trade their life and die, Sage can res them ASAP and then the game becomes a 5v4 in the attacker's favor. I love using this ultimate in the clutch whenever a bomb is down as well. When a 1v1 turns into a 2v1 while trying to retake a site, that attacker is now stuck between a rock and a hard place because 99% of the time, he will be traded out if he tries to make contact with the enemy. Sage res allows for your team to play much more liberally, which allows for your team to be aggressive. And in this game, an aggressive team that has a Sage res to back them up will always find a way to win the round. Rounding out the S tier, we have Sova's ultimate, Hunter's Fury. Hunter's Fury can be used many different ways in game, both offensively and defensively. But the main reason this ultimate found its way into the S tier is because it is one of the few ultimates that is able to counter Killjoy's Lockdown by destroying it. Very few abilities in the game can stop an impending lockdown, especially from the relative safety of range. Hunter's Fury can destroy Killjoy's Lockdown after 2 hits, which makes Sova a great answer in-game for a Killjoy who finds ways to frequently use her ultimate in-game. Outside of being a direct Killjoy ultimate counter, Hunter's Fury is great when paired with info gathering abilities such as Sova's drone or Cypher's camera. Tagging an enemy through a wall and tracking them down with your ultimate is one of the most satisfying ways to get kills in this game. You can even combine this ultimate with CC abilities such as Sage's Slow, Astra's Gravity Well, or Breach's Stuns to collect free frags on enemies who run away from your blast. Learning about which ultimates can round out a team comp the best is a daunting task when learning the ropes of solo queue. That's why you should get into contact with one of our coaches at ProGuides.com to learn the ins and outs of building team comps and mastering agents in solo queue. We also have courses written by pro players Tens and Psalm that can help teach you the basics and the little nuances pro players use to excel in game. Head over to ProGuides.com to reach the rank of your dreams today. At the top of the A tier, we have Brimstone's Orbital Strike. Orbital Strike is unique in that it functions as both a map control ultimate and as a damage-based kill ultimate at the same time. Orbital Strike is one of the easiest abilities to get multi-kills with in the entire game, and that is why it has found itself at the top of the A tier amongst its counterparts. If you have played Brimstone before, you know one of the most common uses for this ultimate is to use it for post-plant security. This is where Brimstone plays far off of sight and waits to hear for if the enemy defuses, and then he launches the ult on top of them as they start to defuse. While this is the most common and effective way to get value out of this ultimate, it's not the only way you have to use it in game. Using Orbital Strike to clear out high traffic areas or small pockets of the map is a great way to get the most use out of this ultimate as well. Next up on our list is Breach's Rolling Thunder. If there is one phrase I could use to describe this ultimate, it would have to be get on a bomb site for free with the push of a button. I'm not overstating that this ultimate is extremely powerful, but it also can be used to stop a push just as easily as it can be used to create a push as well. Breach's ultimate in simplest terms is a very loud go button for your team. When you see Breach activating his Rolling Thunder on a site, you know it's time to put your foot on the gas pedal and flood into sight. This ultimate knocks enemies up and stuns them for a brief period of time if they are hit by one of the shockwaves. This ultimate is extremely favored for the attacking side, but it also can be used on defense to retake sites or stop 5-man pushes altogether. Rolling Thunder is one of the best forms of AoE CC we currently have in Valorant, and that's why it's found itself in the A tier. Next up in the A tier is Cypher's ultimate, Neural Theft. Neural Theft is without a doubt one of the strongest intelligence-based ultimates in the entire game. This ultimate can change the course of an entire round when you know where the enemies are located. Neural Theft gives 2 team benefits when it's activated. The first benefit is that the enemy's last known locations will show up in-game and on your minimap when the ultimate pings after the countdown. The second benefit it gives is psychological, because it scares the enemy players so much that they retreat and tread lightly immediately after they are revealed. You never know how close your adversaries are, so after you get revealed on the map, you have to be careful so that you don't get spotted, swung on, pre-fired, wallbanged, or shot through a smoke by an enemy. Neural Theft has some of the most map pressure out of all of the ultimates, and it doesn't even do damage to them at all. This is one powerful ultimate, and it can always be justified at the top of a tier list. Before Viper's rework, I will admit that we wouldn't have put this ultimate anywhere near the top of the tier list. But after she got changes to how her toxins work, this ultimate could be justified to be even higher on this list in the right scenarios. After Viper's toxins got a huge buff to take an instant 50 health off of an enemy player, Viper's ultimate became a lot scarier over the course of just one patch. Viper's Pit is powerful both offensively and defensively because it takes map control instantly and wards off opponents from trying to take control of the immediate area inside of the pit. Viper's Pit is one of the best post-plant ultimates in the game, and that is why it sits inside of our A tier. Wrapping up our A tier, we have Astra's Cosmic Divide. This ult is the second best map control ultimate in the game, right next to Killjoy's Lockdown. The beauty in this ultimate is that while it serves a simple function when it's deployed, it has great benefits that are unique when it's deployed on attacker and defender sides. One of the best features of Astra's Wall isn't just that it blocks bullets or lines of sight, it's mainly the fact that sound is dampened on the other side. Astra's Wall is so useful when you're trying to sneak plant or sneak defuse, because the enemy team will get no audio cue that someone is on the spike. I have seen numerous plays where defenders put a wall up so that they can sneak defuse, and I have seen offensive teams cut a site in half so that they have a few seconds to plant the spike in peace. Astra's Wall has many uses, and no matter how you deploy it in a round, you will always get use out of it. Before we move on, let's get to our question of the day. Today's question is, what ultimate do you think needs to be buffed on any agent? Personally, I think Yoru's Dimensional Drift still needs a bit of tweaking, just so that it isn't a death sentence the second he decides to activate his ultimate. Let us know what you guys think needs to be changed in the comment section down below. Now, let's hop right back into the video. Starting off the B tier, we have Phoenix's Run It Back. Run It Back is useful because it serves 2 purposes when you use it. The first is that it is a glorified scouting ability that allows for you to gain map control and check corners and not have to worry about losing your life. The second function this ultimate possesses is immense kill pressure on the enemy team. When you hear Phoenix activate his ultimate, you know there is a bloodthirsty, reckless British man coming to kill you and everyone you care about on your team. Since Phoenix loses nothing by using his ultimate, when a Phoenix player is scouting with Run It Back, they will usually full sprint at the enemy and launch all their utility to get as many kills as possible. This is what makes Run It Back so scary, because the likelihood of you and your teammates getting running one-tapped is very high when a Phoenix who has nothing to lose decides to run into the bomb site that you're currently at. One of the most infamous ults in the game, but most certainly a fan favorite amongst the Valorant community at large, Jett's Blade Storm. Jett's Blade Storm is a simple weapon-based ultimate. If the Jett player is skilled, then this ability can be deadlier than the AWP, simply because she has full control over her knives while moving and flying. If the Jett player is not experienced, then well, at least you save money by not buying a gun on the save round, and instead you decided to use her ultimate. The effectiveness of Jett's Blade Storm is completely dependent on the skill level of the user, and that is why it is a B tier ultimate. Skye's Ultimate Seekers, in theory, should be a really powerful info gathering ultimate. On paper, this ability sounds great because it locks on enemies, it alerts you to when they are nearby, and if it gets close enough, it can blind them for a considerable amount of time. The thing is, subjectively, this is a great ultimate, but in practice, it's near useless because of how easy these things can be shot out. The fact that it takes so few bullets to take her Seekers out of commission is enough to justify not using it, because sometimes it's just not worth it to give your position away after you activate it. I think if they can find a way to buff this ability to make it more durable, it would shoot up the tier list in effectiveness. Next up is Almonds from the Shadow's ultimate ability. Don't get me wrong, this is a great ultimate, and it's arguably the best mobility ultimate in the game because of how quick it deploys. But the reason it's stuck in B tier is simple. This ultimate only benefits Omen when it comes to mobility. I know this ultimate has other functions such as scouting out an area to see if enemies are nearby, and using it to take away the enemy's minimap is another great function that can be used for map control, but the problem is, this is a mobility ultimate first and foremost. And while it works great for Omen, it only works for him and not his team. So because it is a selfish ultimate, it has to be placed in B tier. Last up in the B tier is Reyes' Showstopper. I will say this ultimate should be higher because of its scare factor in game. No ultimate can make an entire enemy team stop what they're doing and run and hide like Reyes' Showstopper can. The problem is, when Reyes activates this ability, she gets decreased mobility. And in the past, this ultimate has been known to have some bugs with its splash damage and its damage application to nearby enemies and allies. While this ultimate is capable of getting multi-kills with ease, the fact that it costs 7 ultimate points, it decreases your mobility, and has the potential to bug out and not kill someone in its radius is enough to justify putting this ultimate in B tier. Let's start off this last tier in our video with Reyna's Empress. Let me disclaim this pick right now. This is not a bad ultimate at all. The reason it is in C tier is because it only affects Reyna as an agent and has no benefits whatsoever to her team. This is a selfish ultimate that only gives a minor stats boost to Reyna. This ability also has a short timer that's only refreshed by getting kills, which means sometimes this ultimate encourages reckless play because the Reyna is incentivized to get kills. This can put Reynas in a bad position because they will get thirsty and they will go for kills that are stupid and will lead to them dying an avoidable death. Not to mention the fact that the fire rate increase this ultimate gives you can sometimes throw off your recoil control, and that will make it harder to kill enemies at a distance. This ultimate is in C tier because it only affects Reyna, and it encourages a playstyle that most players should try to avoid. Finally, let's wrap up this video with Yoru's Dimensional Drift. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you guys. This ult is in C tier because even after its buffs, it's still a death trap, and that's putting it modestly. You can tell that Riot intended for this ultimate to be a stealth-like ninja ult that Yoru could use to walk up behind enemies and come out and get multi-kills with, but that is not how this ult ended up playing out at all after he was released. Not to mention it has a history with bugs in the past, like allowing Yoru to plant while it's active, and sometimes the animation for coming out of it bugs out, which can get you killed when it stutters. This ultimate on paper should be great, but it needs a lot of help from Riot before it becomes the great ultimate that it should be. Well guys, that's all we have for our best Agents Ultimates tier list. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure to hit that bell notification to ensure you stay up to date with all of our videos and ahead of the competition. If you want further help, feel free to check out our website, ProGuides.com, for the very best on-demand coaching. Our coaches are among the very best, and we hope that you check them out if you enjoyed this video. This has been your host, Sergeant Frost, and I will see you all in the next one.